Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Feel Great with Kait podcast. I'm your host, Kaitlin Borncamp. I'm a CPA turned nutritional therapy practitioner, and I am on a mission to help more high achievers stop trading their health for their wealth so that they can die young as late in life as possible. So, for today's episode, we're just going to jump right into it. It's going to be a short one, but a good one for you. And it's something that I have been very mindful of for myself in the past few weeks. And this is all around the concept of how are we creating self-induced stress in our life? How can we use really simple approaches to slow down, lower our cortisol, feel better, have more energy, and just stress less? Okay. And so this idea came to me last week when I was at the gym. And I don't know about you, but I get so many more ideas when I'm moving my body, when I'm out and about, when you're not really trying to think, that usually is when I do my best thinking. And so I share this with you because it just is the perfect example for this topic. And so I was at the gym, I had this idea. I was like, yeah, it's something I've been working on. It's something I see with my clients. It's just something in general. I feel like we have been speeding up so much with so many different elements of technology, news cycles, content, anything that we're consuming just seems to be at a faster and faster pace. And I've started to notice that in my own life, there are times when I'm rushing. Maybe I'm feeling behind, physically, like I'm late to a meeting or I'm late to meet someone, or maybe I'm just rushing, like, I don't know, just for the sake of rushing. And it was funny because I got this idea while I was at the gym. And then when I was walking back to my car, I was rushing to my car and I was like, Kaitlin, this is it, time, there's time to practice, time to be mindful. And so I started to slow down. I started to reduce my pace physically, like actually walk more slowly, then just become mindful of, why am I rushing? Do I need to rush? Did I mean to rush? And I've just been really focused on this for the last couple of weeks, like I said. And so I think you'll find this helpful if you are like me, somebody who wants to get a lot done. You almost always have multiple things that you're juggling at one time, either, really like in life with family, things like that, or maybe at work. I know I've talked to somebody recently, an executive who has an inbox of hundreds of emails per day. And so there can be some real challenges. So there are real issues and challenges in our life on a daily basis. But what I want to talk to you about here is those other types of stresses, what I would call self-induced stress. And what I mean by that is, like the other day when I was walking back to my car from the gym, I didn't need to rush. I wasn't rushing back for a meeting. I was right on time to start my next work block. I was not meeting anyone who was expecting me. I didn't need to get home to the dog. Nobody needed me at that time. And so I just thought to myself, like, why am I rushing? And what I've noticed is one, it's a habit. Most of the time I like to walk fast just because it's like the next thing I'm getting done. I'm like, yeah, so the next step is for me to get to my car. And then when I get to my car, it'll be for me to drive home. And so that's something I've noticed, is that I've been in a habit of rushing. The other thing I noticed is that I almost want to be in that state of rushing because of the thrill of it. It like gives you that extra cortisol boost and adrenaline, which it does. And that's both the feel good, but also the problem. And so what I mean by that is, I think I've been in the habit of thinking I need to rush in order to make myself move faster and then get that burst of energy or get that burst of cortisol. And I want to invite in this idea for myself, and I think you'll find it useful for you, that when we are able to slow down in these times when there's nobody else that needs us. Yes, there's always going to be a lot going on, but in that exact moment, like those 3 minutes I'm walking to my car, does it really matter if I get there in 3 minutes or if I get there in 3 minutes and 32 seconds? No, it doesn't. It's like an extra 30 seconds, but the impact will be, and the benefit will be, I will have less of a cortisol spike. I will have a lower heart rate, more steady heart rate. I'll probably be sweating less, right? Like it's the middle of summer, sweating less as I'm walking outside. But more so, that will also help keep my energy more stable, because we know that everything comes at a metabolic cost. So for example, if you are somebody like me who's, I wanted to say arbitrarily, but if you're spiking your cortisol and spiking your stress response almost for no reason, throughout the day, that's going to have a cost. That's going to tax your body in order to produce those hormones, in order to utilize that energy reserve that you maybe would have used for something else. But I find it more like in the mental cost of it, where the more stressed out or rushing I am throughout the morning, the more tired I am in the afternoon. And something I've been able to see because I've been able to keep my nutrition relatively consistent. So I know it's not the blood sugar. I know it's not lack of protein in the morning. Although if I do miss those, I definitely notice lower energy. But what I'm saying is that on the days when all else is equal, I slept great, I'm eating my protein, and I'm rushing, I have less energy throughout the day. And it's been something I've noticed in a lot of people where it's like, where in our life, so maybe think to yourself, where in your life are you creating little pockets or little bursts of this self-induced stress that I'm talking about? I think for me, most easily is able to be recognized when I'm rushing. I'm antsy to get wherever I'm going. And that's a call for me to slow down. Maybe for you, it could be more related to other people. Like, where are you creating little micro dramas or little micro resentment towards the people in your life? Where are you letting little things become a big thing? And why are you doing that? Is it because you thrive on that, burst of energy like I do when I'm rushing? Is it because you want to start an argument or just kind of a tiff in order to get your energy out without just recognizing it? So that would be the first thing, is in order for you to start to recognize it, being more present in the moment when you do recognize it. And then from there, we can use a couple of very simple techniques and tools to, again, break this habit of rushing, Kaitlin, and also lower our stress, have more energy, and honestly, just feel more at ease throughout the day. Like in these little moments, one thing I want to do and have been successfully doing for the last week or so now is transmuting those historically moments of rushing into a new moment of ease and peace. Even if it's only for 3 to 5 seconds, it still matters. It still feels good. It is a opportunity. I've noticed that instead of a time when it was robbing me of energy, I'm now getting energy back. Like I feel more satisfied. I feel more content. I feel more at ease. I'm less overwhelmed, chaotic thinking, sporadic thinking, and more so even steady, consistent in my thinking. And that has been very helpful for the work blocks or for the next tasks that I'm working on. This goes into kind of the category I like to call stress resilience, which is how can we actually become better at responding to the same level of stressors in our life? And it all starts with us. It starts in our mindset. And that's why I love this topic, is because it's not about all the external things that we have to-do list, our inbox, anything like that. This is the moments where we may be creating our own self-induced stress. And we're probably doing it way more often than we think. So once you are able to recognize like one or two things, so that would be one thing you can do this week, is start to notice one or two reoccurring patterns or times when you typically rush. Like I said, for me, it's rushing to get to the car, rushing to get where I'm going. Or I've also noticed it rushing, like I'm late for a meeting within, the next 2 minutes. It's like, I know that this meeting has been scheduled on my calendar for a week, but it just so happens that, I'm late to join, or I had to rush to get water. It's like, why am I doing that? It's because I'm living in the thrill, like I said. So those are the two areas I'm personally focused on. And here are a couple tools that you can use in order to, again, lower your cortisol, lower your stress response, have more energy. And then, like I said, most likely you may also feel better clarity, more consistent access to thinking, better memory. Because again, just as a quick reminder, when we're in that stressed response, we have tunnel vision, we have hyper focused vigilance, and we're not able to access strategic thinking, creative thinking, open mindedness. But if we can respond when we're in a calm, relaxed manner, we will have access to more ideas, more creative solutions, and be able to think about things in a broader manner than we would have if we were just approaching it in our stressed, overwhelmed state. Okay. All right. So getting to the tools, what are some things you can do? Really easily, one thing you can do is simply, when you notice yourself in that moment of stress, start to notice 3 things around you physically. This will ground you into your physical space. So for me, like the other day when I was rushing to my car, I was outside. So I was like, oh, wow, this is a beautiful day. The weather is really nice. I really like the way that this temperature feels on my skin. So that was one thing. The next thing was noticing the trees and the different, plants around me as I was walking to my car. They were just really beautiful. It was in the morning sunlight. That's my favorite time of day. So it's like just enjoying being around all the plants, being outside. Those 3 things were able to ground me in the present moment and take me out of that mindset of rushing. Okay. The next thing you can do is, as always, using our breathing, using either your favorite go-to breath, deep breathing, just simply taking a really deep inhale and a slower exhale. That would be a good deep breath that works really well. The big thing you want to do for your deep breath in order to put yourself out of the stress state and into the relaxed state is to have a longer exhale. So what that would simply look like is inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you see how inhale for 4, exhale for 6. I've seen it a couple different ways. You can kind of increase it how you see fit. And then also another great tool for the breath is the box breathing. So that would be where you're inhaling for, in this example, a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 4, and holding again for a count of 4. So you can go ahead and do it with me now as you're listening to this. What I love about the breath is that we can do this anywhere and nobody has to notice. All right, so we're going to do a quick round of box breathing. I'm going to walk you through 2 times. So go ahead and inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Another one. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and breathe normally now. So that was a box breathing activity, and that's going to, 1, focus your attention on your breath, help steady your nervous system and actually calm you down and get you out of that stress response. I like to just use things that are super simple and don't really require like an app or me to remember anything. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to be in a physical space. I can look around and then I can always have access to my breath. The other thing, kind of next chapter or next step is after you're out of that situation, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, why were you rushing? Why were you wanting to start those tiffs with your family member? Why were you wanting to do that activity that was then leading to that self-induced stress? Like when we can start to become more aware of our habits and why we're doing these patterns, that's when we can truly start to break free for them. So I hope you enjoyed the super short episode on how to acknowledge some self-induced stress that you might be creating in your life, as well as a few simple techniques in order to break through it. All right, until next time, my friends, stay healthy. Just a reminder that the information shared on this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended to be medical advice. It should not be used to treat, diagnose, or cure any medical condition. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your health regimen or medications. Kaitlin Borncamp and Health Supply LLC, DBA Feel Great with Kait disclaim any liability for outcomes resulting from the use of this content.